Have you ever wondered why it is so hard to stop a bad habit? Do you ever ask yourself why you keep repeating the same mistake every day, knowing it doesn't help you? Do you ever try to break free, only to fall back again? Let's imagine a simple example. A man wakes up every morning saying, "Today, I won't smoke." But by the afternoon, he finds himself holding his cigarette again. It's like a circle that never ends. This is how habits work. They grab hold of the mind quietly and make a person feel like a prisoner. But here is the truth. Habits are not stronger than a human being who understands himself. In this video, you will learn how to understand these habits deeply and how to walk away from them using a very old and beautiful teaching from the wisdom of the Buddha. Welcome to Wisdom Woven. Here, we explore simple truths that can change your life for the better. There's so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribes. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. By doing this, you can help spread the wisdom and be a part of this growing community. Will you join us? In the world of Buddhism, habits are seen as seeds that we water every day. When you give attention to a habit, it grows stronger. When you forget it, it slowly disappears. The Buddha spoke clearly about this long ago. He said that every thought we feed becomes a path we walk. Bad habits arise when we walk the same path too many times. But a new path can be created when we understand ourselves and make a firm decision to walk a different road. Through this series, you will learn how to recognize your habits, how to understand why they arise, and how to dissolve their grip on your life. Stay with us, listen with an open heart, and you will see how a tiny shift can create a big change. This is only the beginning. Stay with us for the next part, and let us walk this path together. Look closely, my dear one. Sit down quietly for a moment and watch your own thoughts. Do you notice how a thought appears, stays for a moment, and then disappears? Do you notice how this thought can lead to a feeling, and how that feeling can make you want to do something? This is how every bad habit starts. It begins with a tiny seed. This tiny seed is called desire. The Buddha taught that desire is like a seed that can grow into a strong tree if you keep feeding it. You do not notice the seed at first. It is very small. It appears as a whisper in the heart or a quiet voice in the mind. A person wants to smoke, drink, eat too much, or scroll endlessly. At first, it is only a thought. The person does not give it much attention. But if this thought comes back many times, and if the person gives it attention, it finds roots. The seed grows stronger. The thought returns more often. Slowly, it becomes a habit. Have you noticed how this works in daily life? Let us imagine a simple example. A person is tired. They open their phone. They scroll for a few moments. At first, it is just for a minute. Then 10 minutes. Then an hour. Then every evening it becomes the routine. The person doesn't notice how this seed has grown into a strong tree. They wonder why it is so hard to stop. The answer is that the seed has been watered too many times. This is why the Buddha said, "Watch the seed before it becomes a tree." The seed is your desire. The seed is your thought. The seed is the moment you whisper to yourself, "Just one more time, just this once." Those words seem harmless, don't they? Yet every time you listen to them, the seed finds a little more space to grow. To observe this seed, you must slow down. Do not rush. Do not run away from it. Do not try to bury it. Instead, watch it with soft and gentle eyes. The Buddha said that to watch a thought is to disarm it. When you watch a thought closely, it can no longer hide. Its strength becomes weaker. Its roots do not find soil. Imagine a person who wishes to stop smoking. The person feels the urge arise. The thought appears. In this moment, if the person can simply watch the thought, notice the feeling, and breathe deeply, a space is created. In this space, the person can make a choice. The seed can be left to dry. The person can walk away, allowing it to dissolve. Observing is a practice. It is like a strong lamp that shines in a dark room. All the shadows that make the room scary disappear when the lamp shines. In the same way, all the strong urges that seem too big can lose their power when we watch them clearly. The Buddha spoke of this when he talked about the nature of craving. He said that craving is like a flame. If you feed a wood, it grows. If you remove the wood, it slowly becomes smaller and smaller until it goes out. The seed of desire is like the tiny flame. The thought, when it first appears, is a small ember. If you feed it with attention, it becomes a blazing fire. But if you watch it, acknowledge it, and do not give it fuel, it will shrink and disappear. Observing the seed is not about fighting. It is not about forcing it down. It is about understanding. Sometimes when a person tries to fight a thought, the thought becomes stronger. The person feels tension. The person feels like a soldier in a war. But this is not the way. The Buddha's teaching is about knowing, seeing, and allowing things to arise and pass away. Try this in your own life. The next time a thought appears saying, "I must have this now," just watch it. Do not agree with it. Do not disagree. Do not judge it. Let it be like a cloud passing in the sky. You can acknowledge it. This is a thought of desire. You can notice how it feels in your body. Maybe your chest tightens. Maybe your breathing becomes quick. Stay still. Stay present. Let the thought rise, stay for a moment, and then watch it dissolve. The more you practice this, the weaker the seed becomes. The thought may arise many times at first, but like a visitor that finds no warm welcome, it will come less often. The seed will no longer find soil in your heart. The seed will dry out. A person who can watch thoughts in this way becomes free. This is the deep teaching of the Buddha. It is simple, yet it can change the path of a person's whole life. The person no longer lives like a slave to their thoughts or feelings. The person lives like a witness who is calm and strong. In daily life, you can practice this everywhere. You can practice this when you walk down the street and suddenly notice a shop that makes you want to spend money. You can practice this when you see a person you dislike and a wave of anger begins to rise. You can practice this when you are tired and a strong thought appears to run to some old habit for comfort. In every moment, you have a chance to watch, to notice, and to choose. The seed of desire is very powerful when it is unseen, but when you observe it clearly, it is very fragile. The seed that once felt like a giant tree becomes like a tiny blade of grass. All it takes is the warmth of awareness. All it takes is the soft light of understanding. The Buddha said, what we feed grows, what we neglect dies. This is the secret. This is the heart of breaking habits. You do not break habits with anger. You do not break habits with force. You break habits by seeing clearly, by knowing when a seed appears, and by choosing not to give it water. Try this. The next time a strong thought appears, give yourself a moment. Do not rush. Do not act. Do not obey. Just watch. See it. Name it. Let it be. Let go. Slowly, your life will feel lighter. Slowly, your heart will feel freer. Slowly, the habits that felt like chains will fall away, one link at a time. Remember, this is the teaching of the Buddha. The seed can only grow if we give it space in our heart. The seed can only bear fruit if we water it every day. The seed can only become strong if we forget to watch it. So watch it. Stay awake. Stay aware. Stay present. Each thought is a visitor. Let it come. Let it go. Do not invite it to stay. Do not invite it to build a home. Do not invite it to grow deep roots. Let it be like a shadow that moves across the floor and disappears with the setting sun. With practice, with patience, and with kindness to yourself, you can understand this deeply. You can walk through your days knowing that every thought is a chance to choose. Every seed can be left to wither. Every moment can be a chance to plant a seed of peace, a seed of wisdom, a seed of true happiness. Trust this path. It has worked for countless people for countless generations. The path of knowing, the path of watching, the path of letting go. The seed of desire may arise, but it can only grow if you give it strength. You can smile at it. You can nod at it. You can say quietly, I see you, but I will not walk with you. In that moment, you are no longer its servant. In that moment, you become free. This is how the teaching works. This is how you can understand the nature of habits. The seed can only live when you forget. When you remember to watch, when you remember to breathe, when you remember to stay present, the seed has no chance. The seed will come and it will go, like a wave upon the shore. Trust this knowing. Trust this practice. Stay present, stay alert, and watch the miracle of change slowly unfold within your own heart. Have you ever watched a bird land on a branch? It arrives, rests for a moment, and then flies away. It doesn't cling to the branch. It doesn't call its own. It doesn't struggle with it. The bird knows that the branch is just a place it rests, not a place it must stay forever. The Zen Master would tell you this is how you must learn to treat your habits too, not as a place you must stay forever, but as a moment that can come and go. To recognize your triggers and patterns is like watching this bird. You must watch very closely. You must ask yourself, why do I reach for this habit? What sound, what thought, what feeling arrives right before I pick it up? This is called a trigger. It is like the wind that shakes the branch, making the bird land. Without understanding this wind, you will wonder why the bird always returns. But when you understand it, you can move away from its path. Imagine this simple example. A man finishes lunch every afternoon. As soon as the plate is cleared, he feels the need for a cigarette. What is the trigger? Not the cigarette itself, but the end of a meal. The body and the mind have learned this path. They walk it every day. The trigger is like a bell that rings. The man hears it, and he moves, not because he chooses it, but because he has never stopped to watch the sound of the bell. To recognize triggers means to slow down. It means to stand still for a moment and ask, why am I doing this? What's happening inside me right now? In that moment of stopping, you can learn more about yourself than you can in many years of rushing. The Zen Master says that every trigger is a teacher if you have the courage to listen. The sound of the bell can teach you to walk a new path. Triggers can be many things. Sometimes it is a sound. Sometimes it is a person. Sometimes it is a feeling deep in the chest. Sometimes it is a thought that arrives suddenly like a visitor. But the Zen Master reminds you, you are not the sound. You are not the person. You are not the thought. You are the witness. You can watch these things arise and then watch them dissolve. This is the heart of mindfulness. Have you noticed that habits have patterns? They arise when you are tired. They arise when you are lonely. They arise when you are bored or when you are hurt. This is how patterns work. They wait for moments when you are weakest, and then they move. But a person who shines a light of awareness can break the pattern. The Zen Master says, a lamp in the darkness removes the darkness. Awareness removes the habit. Imagine a small child trying to walk. At first, the child stumbles, falls, and cries. But the child does not give up. The child watches its own feet. Slowly, it finds balance. In the same way, you must watch your habits. Watch when they arise. Watch how they move. Watch when you stumble. Do not hate yourself for falling. The child does not hate its legs. It simply tries again. So must you. Have you noticed how habits feel strong when you don't understand them, but very weak when you watch them closely? It is like a shadow that looks like a giant beast at night, but when morning arrives, it is gone. The Zen Master tells this story to every seeker. What you fear is stronger when it is unseen. What you watch becomes smaller. What you understand becomes a guest you can ask to leave. Try this simple practice. The next time a trigger arrives, don't run from it. Don't cover it with noise. Just sit for a moment. Breathe slowly. Let the thought or feeling arise. Let it walk across your mind like a visitor. Do not feed it. Do not chase it. Do not try to kill it. Just watch. You will notice that after a few moments, it disappears like a wave returning to the ocean. This is the path of freedom taught by the Zen Master. He reminds you again and again, it is not about fighting your habits. It is about seeing them clearly. The man who tries to kill the bird only makes it frightened. The man who watches the bird learns when it arrives, why it arrives, and when it leaves. This is the way of wisdom. The habits will lose their grip when you understand their nature. Patterns are like footprints in the sand. The more you walk the same path, the deeper the marks. But when you walk a new path, the old marks slowly fill with wind and disappear. The Zen Master says this is the beauty of change. You can always walk a new path. You can always choose a new way. The triggers are like a bell calling you down the old path. Will you walk it, or will you listen, smile, and walk a new way? Recognizing triggers is the first step. Understanding patterns is the second. Letting go is the third. Do not try to skip the first two. Do not try to run before you can walk. Watch first. Observe second. Let go when a moment arrives. This is how a tree grows strong. Not by rushing towards the sun, but by putting down deep roots. In the same way, you must put down deep roots of understanding. Notice your breath as you watch. The breath is a teacher too. It arrives and it goes. It is like a wave on the shore. The breath reminds you that nothing stays forever. Not anger, not greed, not fear, not desire. All things come, all things go. This is the nature of life. This is the nature of the mind. A person who understands this is like a bird resting on a branch. The branch may shake, the wind may blow, but the bird knows it can always fly. You too can always move. You too can always rise above the old path. The triggers will call, the patterns will whisper, but you will watch. You will smile. You will walk a new path. This is the teaching of a Zen master. Do not fight. Do not hate. Do not run. Just watch. Understand. Let the triggers reveal themselves. Let the patterns be seen clearly. The habits you fear will lose their strength when you see them for what they are. Passing moments. Not masters. Not rulers. Not kings. Just moments. Each moment is a chance to remember this truth. Each breath is a chance to rest. Each thought is a chance to observe. Slowly, you will notice a change. The sound of the old bell will ring, and you will smile, knowing its voice. You will no longer walk the old path. You will walk the new one. Calm, aware, free. This is the way taught for countless years. Not through force, but through understanding. Not through hate, but through compassion. Not through running, but through stillness. The bird arrives. The bird goes. The branch rests. The wind sighs. You stand still. You watch. You understand. You walk. And one day, you realize that the old path is gone. The new path is here. You are here. The moment is here. And you are free. This is the teaching of a Zen master. Let it sink deep within you. Let it whisper to your heart. Let it guide you as you walk upon this earth. Let it teach you to recognize triggers, understand patterns, and walk a new path towards freedom. In this way, habits will dissolve, and life will open like a flower under the morning sun. A Zen master once said, "If you can watch your breath, you can watch your life." What does this mean? It means that when you watch closely, you can understand yourself better. Bad habits are like tiny threads that tie themselves around your thoughts, feelings, and body. At first, you don't notice. But over time, those threads form a strong rope that can pull you in a direction you don't want to go. Why do bad habits have this power? It is because you're not fully aware when they arise. You walk into a room and suddenly find yourself reaching for a drink, lighting a cigarette, or checking your phone for no reason. These moments happen when your attention is elsewhere. The body acts automatically. The mind is like a boat pushed by strong winds, and you forget to take the oars. But mindfulness is like putting the hand back on the oar. It means noticing every moment as it is. The Buddhist said, "Awareness is the path to immortality." What he meant is that when you are aware, you live fully. When you live fully, habits lose their grip. Imagine this scene. A person wakes up and feels a strong desire for a cigarette. The old way is to pick it up and light it right away. The new way is to stop for a moment, to notice this desire, to feel it, to watch it rise and watch it fall. The person might say quietly, "Ah, this is a thought. This is a desire." And then, like a wave on the shore, the desire goes away. The Zen master often tells a story. A man came to him and said, "Master, I'm tired of being pulled by my habits. What can I do?" The master replied, "Watch." The man was puzzled. "Watch?" he asked. "Yes," said the master. "Watch your breath. Watch your thoughts. Watch the way your hands move. Watch how you walk. Watch how you eat. Watch every little thing. Do not judge it. Do not fight it. Do not try to kill it. Just watch." At first, the man found it very hard. His thoughts ran like frightened deer. His hands shook. The habits came with force, trying to carry him away. But every time this happened, he remembered the master's words and returned to watching. Slowly, very slowly, the habits began to lose their strength. Why? Because habits feed on unconsciousness. When you do things automatically like a machine, habits grow stronger. But when you watch, when you bring awareness to every action, habits have nowhere to hide. They stand out clearly, like a shadow in bright morning light. The teaching of mindfulness is very simple. It is to be present, to watch, to feel, to accept, to understand, not to run away from discomfort, not to cover it up with a drink, a cigarette, or a piece of chocolate, not to bury it under noise, television, or scrolling endlessly on a phone, but to stay with it, to witness it, to ask, what is this feeling? Where's it in my body? What is it trying to tell me? The body is always telling you things. The tension in the chest when a bad habit whispers its name. The tightness in the throat when the craving appears. The restlessness in the legs when the mind looks for its old comfort. These are signals. The Zen Master says, listen to the signals. They are guides on your path to freedom. Bad habits are like a lost child that needs attention. When you give it that attention, when you recognize it, when you watch it closely, the child no longer needs to scream. Another person came to the Master and said, I try to watch my habits, but it is too hard. My thoughts run too fast. My feelings overwhelm me. What can I do? The Master smiled and said, be like the mountain. The wind may blow, the rains may fall, but the mountain simply stands. Let thoughts be like the wind. Let feelings be like the rains. Do not try to stop them. Do not try to control them. Just stand tall. Just watch. In watching, you find strength. Each time you watch, you build strength. You plant a new seed in your heart. The seed of understanding. The seed of kindness. The seed of strength. At first, it is very small. You might watch for one breath, then forget. You might notice one thought, then lose yourself. But if you continue, that seed grows. Day by day, moment by moment, it becomes a strong tree. Its roots sink deep into the earth. Its branches rise towards the sky. Through this practice of mindfulness, you learn to recognize the space between a thought and an action. This space is the key. In this space, you have a choice. Will you walk down the old path of a bad habit? Will you pick up the drink? Will you light the cigarette? Will you scroll the phone? Or will you stand still, watch, and walk a new path? The Zen Master says, the space between thought and action is where life can change. Many people forget this space. They live as if it doesn't exist. But it is always there, even in the busiest moments. Even when the heart is beating fast and the breath is shallow. The space is always there. All you have to do is remember to look for it. To build this mindfulness, one can start with very simple things. In the morning, when brushing teeth, just watch. Notice the feeling of the brush against the teeth. Notice the sound of the water. In that moment, be fully present. In the evening, when putting down the phone, watch how the hand moves. Watch how the body feels. Be present. These moments are like practice rounds. They build strength for the harder moments when a strong habit arrives like a storm. The Zen Master often reminds his students, a strong wind can break a stiff tree, but a flexible tree can bend and survive. Mindfulness makes you flexible. It allows you to bend when the winds of habits arise. It allows you to stand tall when the rains of cravings fall. Through mindfulness, a person can also understand why the habits arise. What pain is the habit trying to cover? What loneliness is it trying to fill? What fear is it trying to quiet? By looking deeply, by being present, one can understand the root of the habit. Not just the surface, not just the behavior, but the deep cause. This is the way to true change. Not force, not anger, not guilt, but understanding. One student came to the Master and said, I've been trying to quit my bad habits for years, but every time I fail. What can I do? The Master replied, try this. Do not try to quit. Try to know the habit. Sit with it. Observe it. Let it reveal itself to you. The moment you truly understand it, its hold on you will dissolve. Understanding is the flame that burns the rope of habits. Through mindfulness, you walk closer to that flame. You notice that habits are not demons. They are not monsters. They're like old friends that no longer serve you. They came into your life because you needed them once. But now, as you walk the path of awareness, you can thank them and gently say goodbye. With mindfulness, habits lose their color. The cigarette no longer shines. The drink no longer promises comfort. The phone no longer steals your attention. What shines brighter is the present moment itself. The sound of a bird, the warmth of a cup, the smile of a loved one. the quiet beating of your own heart. Through this practice, the Zen Master reminds you every day, awareness is a lamp. It shines upon the path. Stay with the lamp. Stay with the breath. Stay with the body. Stay with the heart. Let this lamp guide you, and you will walk out of the forest of habits and into the open fields of peace. This is the power of mindfulness in breaking habits. It is not force. It is not struggle. It is knowing. It is seeing. It is accepting. And in this knowing, in this seeing, in this accepting, the habit finds its end. The rope loosens. The heart becomes free. The path becomes clear. Each moment you watch is a step. Each step you take is a victory. Not a victory that needs applause. Not a victory that needs to be announced. But a quiet, strong, deep victory that lives within. This is the way. This is the practice. This is how habits dissolve and a new, brighter life begins. Buddhist wisdom on letting go. Have you ever watched how a leaf falls from a tree? It doesn't cling. It doesn't fight. It doesn't scream, "I must stay." It simply lets go when the wind arrives. In this way, nature shows a quiet truth. Everything that must leave will leave when its time arrives. A habit is like this too. It only stays because we hold it tight. When we understand this, we can learn to open our hand and let it go. The Buddha spoke often about how our habits and thoughts arise from attachment. What does attachment mean? It means holding on to feelings, to ideas, to cravings. A person may drink every evening. Why? Not because he loves the drink itself, but because he is attached to the comfort it gives. A person may scroll endlessly on a phone. Why? Not because the phone is special, but because he is attached to the feeling of being distracted. All habits are like this. They grow strong when we attach ourselves to the feeling they give. The Buddha taught a very simple but powerful lesson. If you want to end a habit, you must first understand it. You must watch it closely like a parent watches a child. Not with anger, not with judgment, but with patience and understanding. Ask yourself quietly, why am I doing this? What am I looking for? This is the first step of letting go. To recognize is to create space between yourself and the habit. Imagine your habit as a guest who arrives every evening. Will you open the door blindly every time? Will you serve a tea and invite it to stay? Or will you learn to notice it at the door and say, "I see you"? Not tonight. The habit may come again and again, but when you recognize it, when you learn its face, its voice, its whispers, it starts to lose its grip. The Buddha called this mindfulness, knowing clearly what is happening in the present moment. Letting go doesn't mean fighting. Letting go doesn't mean ignoring. Letting go means understanding. When you understand, you no longer fear. When you understand, you can release. Bad habits survive in darkness. They feed on moments when you forget yourself. Letting go shines a lamp of awareness upon them, and in that light, they can no longer hide. There was once a man who came to a Zen master and said, "Master, I am a slave to anger. I try to stop, but I always fail." The Zen master smiled and said, "Show me this anger. Where is it right now?" The man was surprised. "Right now? It is not here." The Zen master nodded and said, "Then it is not your owner. It arrives and it goes. Watch it closely when it arrives and watch it leave. Do this every time. Do this patiently. You will understand its nature, and one day it will lose its strength." The man tried, and in time, he learned that anger, like any habit, is just a visitor. We must treat habits like visitors. Let them come, acknowledge them, watch them, and let them leave. Do not give them a room. Do not feed them with more attention than needed. The more you watch, the weaker they become. The more you struggle, the stronger they seem. The more you fear, the closer they stay. The more you accept and understand, the more easily they walk out the door. The Buddha said, "Attachment is the root of all suffering." What does this mean? It means that when you attach yourself to a thought or a feeling, you tie yourself to it. You create a link that can pull you down. Bad habits arise from this link. You attach yourself to a moment of comfort, a flash of pleasure, a temporary escape, and you forget the cost. Letting go means breaking that link. Not by force, not by anger, but by understanding. Try this tonight. When the habit arrives, don't run from it. Sit quietly. Breathe. Watch it. Name it. Say to yourself, ah, this is the desire for a drink. Ah, this is the desire for a smoke. Ah, this is the desire to scroll endlessly. Observe where it lives in your body. Observe how long it lasts. Observe how it changes and goes away when you do nothing. In this way, you will discover its true nature. You will see that it is not a master. It is a guest, and guests can be shown the door. Each moment you watch a habit arise and fall, you gain strength. Each moment you refuse to feed it, it becomes weaker. The Buddha said that the nature of all things is impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. Not feelings, not thoughts, not habits. What you watch, you can understand. What you understand, you can release. What you release can no longer control you. But this is not done in a day. It is a practice. It is a path. The old habits have deep roots, like a tree that has been growing for years. To remove such a tree, one must first cut the branches, then the trunk, and finally, slowly, work to remove the roots. Be patient with yourself. Treat yourself with kindness. You have walked this path for a long time. To walk a new one, you must give yourself the space and time to learn. The Zen Master say, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. Let this be a mantra for you. Do not judge yourself for failing. Do not scold yourself for falling. See it for what it is, a lesson, a reminder, an opportunity to understand and try again. What we call failure is often just a teacher pointing us towards a deeper truth. Let each stumble be a step closer to mastery. Remember, the first step is always to recognize. The second step is to accept. The third step is to understand. The fourth step is to release. The fifth step is to walk a new path. This is how a bad habit becomes a teacher, and a teacher becomes a guide. Trust in this process. Trust in yourself. Trust in the nature of the mind. The mind can cling, but it can also let go. The heart can attach, but it can also open. The body can crave, but it can also rest. You have this strength within you. The Buddha himself said, you are your own master. You make your own path. Let this be the flame that guides you. Each breath can be a new beginning. Each moment can be a moment of release. Let go as the leaf lets go. Let go as the water finds its way down the stream. Let go as the wind moves across the mountain. Let go, and you will find a quiet strength growing within. A habit is like a shadow. The more you turn towards the light of understanding, the weaker the shadow becomes. The more you walk with mindfulness, the less the shadow can cling to you. Let this truth sink deep into your heart. Let this be the seed you plant today. Trust that with patience, understanding, and a gentle heart, every habit can be transformed. Not with force, not with hate, but with clarity and kindness. In this way, you will walk the path of the Buddha. In this way, you will find the strength to let go and walk towards a brighter, freer life. A Zen master once spoke quietly to a group of students and said, a person is like a garden. Whatever seeds you plant will grow. Whatever you water, every day becomes strong. Whatever you ignore will wither and disappear. This is how habits work. Good habits and bad habits arise from the same soil, the human heart. The only difference is how you tend to them. If a person spends every morning rushing, checking the phone, and worrying about the day, then that is the seed that grows stronger. But if a person wakes up, takes a deep breath, and spends a moment in silence, that too becomes a seed. The seed of peace, when watered, grows tall and strong. This is why creating new rituals, new habits, is like planting new seeds in the garden of your life. The Buddha spoke about this long ago. He said that we must become the master of our mind, and that every thought and action leaves a trace. Bad habits are like old footprints in soft earth. We walk the same path every day until the path becomes deep, and it feels like we have no choice but to walk it. But this is not true. The moment we realize we have a choice, the old path can be abandoned. New footprints can be made. A ritual is simply a way of telling ourselves, today I walk a new path. It can be as simple as rising before the sun, sitting quietly for a few moments, and focusing on the breath. It can be as simple as lighting a candle with the thought, May I live this day with kindness and clarity. It can be as simple as repeating a phrase every morning that reminds you of who you truly are. These tiny rituals have great power. They're like water and sunlight for the new seeds you plant. When a person tries to break a bad habit by force, the mind can resist. The more you struggle, the more you focus on the old habit, and the stronger it becomes. The Buddha taught another way. He taught that we can gently shift our attention from the old habit to a new one. Not with anger, not with judgment, but with kindness and patience. This is called skillful means. It is using the natural nature of the mind to move towards light instead of darkness. Imagine a person who wants to give up the habit of scrolling endlessly on a phone every morning. The old routine may be to reach for the phone upon waking. To create a new ritual, one can replace that action with another. Perhaps reaching for a book or opening a window to feel the morning air. Perhaps saying a short prayer or setting an intention for the day. In this way, the old habit is replaced by a new one, like planting a strong, healthy tree in place of a dried, withered one. It is also important to understand that new rituals must be simple. The Zen way is the way of simplicity. Do not try to create 10 rituals at once. Begin with one. Let it be small. Let it be done every day without strain. Let it become a part of your morning, a part of your evening, a part of the moments when you feel lost or anxious. As you do this, it becomes a part of who you are. A man came to a Zen Master and said, "I have tried to break a bad habit for 10 years, and I always fail. What should I do?" The Master smiled and replied, "Do not try to break the old. Build the new. Let your heart and hands focus on planting a flower. Let your attention rest upon this flower every morning. Slowly, the old roots will lose their strength." The man felt a quiet understanding arise within him. This is the way. Do not make war with yourself. Do not punish the old habits. Let them be as they are. Instead, give your energy and heart to the rituals that uplift you. Let the new habits be like soft rain upon the dry earth of the heart. Let them sink deep until they reach the roots of your being. The Buddhist said, "What you dwell upon grows." When a person spends a moment every morning focusing on kindness, that kindness grows. When a person spends a moment every evening focusing on gratitude, that gratitude shines brighter. These moments, repeated every day, become rituals. Rituals become habits. Habits become character. And character becomes the path of a person's life. A simple ritual can be a lamp in the darkness. It can be a small prayer when fear arrives. It can be a breath that reminds you to slow down when anger sparks within. It can be a quiet moment before a meal when you remember the gift of this food. All of these moments have the power to reshape the heart. All of these moments can rewrite the story of your life. It takes patience. It takes trust. The old habits will not disappear in a day. The roots of an old tree do not wither overnight. But every day that you choose a new ritual, every moment that you return to the present, every breath that you take with awareness, you are planting new seeds. These seeds will grow. They will bear fruit. They will shade you when the sun is too strong and protect you when the wind is too cold. As the seasons change, as time moves on, you will notice a shift. What felt like an impossible habit to break will lose its grip. What felt like a powerful force will feel like a faint echo. The new rituals will fill the spaces where old habits once lived. The new rituals will become the path you walk each day. You will walk with a lighter heart and a quieter mind. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step. Every long path is made of moments strung together. Do not be afraid to start small. Do not be discouraged when you stumble. The Zen way is a path of gentle persistence. It is a path of knowing that every breath can be a new beginning. So rise with the sun. Sit quietly for a moment. Let the world slow down. Let the breath carry away the restlessness of the heart. Let kindness fill the space where judgment used to live. Let a small ritual become a beacon for a brighter day. Through these rituals, through these moments of remembrance, you can break the grip of old habits. You can walk in a new direction. You can live with a heart that is calm and a mind that is clear. This is the way of Zen. This is the teaching of the Buddha. This is the path to a life that is truly free. Trust in this path. Trust in the strength of a single moment. Trust in the wisdom that rests within you. The seed of a new habit is already in your hand. Plant it. Nurture it. Let it grow. In time, it will flourish, and your life will become a garden of peace. This is how a person finds freedom from the old habits. Not with force, not with anger, not with judgment, but with a quiet heart, a patient breath, and a single step upon a new path. In this way, one can walk from darkness into light, from restlessness into peace, from confusion into clarity. This is the way. This is the teaching. This is the practice that can change a life forever. Imagine a gentle river flowing softly through the forest. It does not force its way, but it moves steadily, quietly shaping the land over time. Like this river, healing from our bad habits happens not by harsh force, but by gentle, steady care. This is the way of compassion. Many people think that to quit a bad habit, they must be strong, tough, and strict with themselves. They believe they must punish themselves or feel angry for failing. But this is not the true way. Anger and harshness only make the mind restless. When a mind is restless, the habit becomes stronger. The Buddha taught us to approach ourselves with kindness. The kindness of a good friend, not the cruelty of an enemy. When you realize that habits are part of your mind's old story, you start to see why compassion matters. A habit is like a small child who repeats the same mistake again and again because it does not know better. If you shout at the child, it will only cry more. But if you hold the child's hand gently and teach it step by step, the child learns slowly and feels safe. In the same way, your mind needs your gentle care to heal. When you want to quit a bad habit, do not fight your mind with anger. Instead, look deeply and say, "I see you. I understand your pain. I will walk with you." This soft voice is the seed of compassion. Compassion is not weakness. It is the strongest power inside us. When you treat yourself with compassion, the mind relaxes and opens. Only in this open space can real change happen. You will notice that the craving for the habit loses its power when met with kindness. Let me share a story from ancient times. There was a monk who struggled to stop his anger. Every day, he tried very hard, but often failed. One day, his teacher said to him, "Do not punish yourself for being angry. Instead, be kind to your anger. Say, 'I know you are there. You feel hurt.' When you treat your anger like a friend, it will start to fade." The monk followed this advice, and slowly his anger softened, just like the morning mist under the sun. You might ask, how can I be compassionate to myself when I keep making the same mistake? This is a good question. The answer is to remember that the mind is like a garden. Some plants grow wild and strong because they are not cared for. Weeds are like bad habits. If you pull them roughly, you may break the soil and cause more weeds to grow. But if you gently dig around the weed, slowly removing it, and then plant good seeds, the garden will heal and flourish. Compassion helps you care for your garden. It gives you patience to keep trying without giving up. When you feel the urge to fall back into an old habit, instead of blaming yourself, breathe and say softly, "This is hard. I'm doing my best." This simple kindness gives you strength. Another point to understand is that compassion includes forgiveness. Forgiveness for yourself and others. Sometimes, bad habits come because of pain caused by people around us or by life's difficulties. When you forgive, you release the heavy burden of anger and resentment. This frees your mind and makes it easier to change. The Buddha said that all beings want happiness and do not want suffering. Even the parts of us that hold bad habits are trying to protect us in their own way. They might be trying to soothe pain, fear, or loneliness. When you understand this, compassion grows naturally. You stop fighting yourself and begin to listen deeply. Listening deeply means sitting quietly and watching your mind without judgment. When a craving arises, do not push it away or rush into it. Instead, observe it like a curious traveler watching clouds pass in the sky. Say to yourself, "This craving is here. It is not permanent. It will change." This gentle attention is a form of compassion. Sometimes it helps to speak kindly to yourself. Use phrases like, "May I be peaceful," or "May I be free from suffering." These simple words remind the mind to be gentle and patient. You can also extend this compassion to others. When you see others struggling with habits or difficulties, send them the same kindness you offer yourself. This opens your heart and connects you with all beings. It reminds you that you are not alone on this path. Compassion grows in the heart when we practice loving kindness meditation. This meditation is simple. Sit quietly and repeat phrases like, "May I be happy," "May I be healthy," "May I live with ease." Then, slowly, include others. "May you be happy," "May you be healthy," "May you live with ease." This practice softens the heart and makes healing easier. Remember, quitting bad habits is not about being perfect. It is about returning again and again to kindness. Some days will be easier, some days will be harder. But with compassion, every step forward is a victory. You might wonder if compassion will make you lazy or weak. The opposite is true. Compassion gives you courage to face your habits honestly without fear. It is like the sun that melts the ice slowly but surely. Over time, the habit loses its hold, and you feel free. Let me share another teaching. The Buddha said that to heal the mind, you must be like the lotus flower. The lotus grows in muddy water, but stays clean and beautiful above the surface. Compassion is the mud that nourishes the flower. It helps the flower grow strong and pure. So when you feel stuck in a habit, do not reject or hate yourself. Instead, imagine your heart as the lotus and your compassion as the nurturing mud. Care for yourself gently and patiently. Practice this every day. When you wake, say a kind word to yourself. When a craving comes, meet it with a gentle breath. When you stumble, forgive yourself softly. This is the true way of healing. The path of compassion may seem slow, but it is steady and sure. Like a river carving a valley, it shapes your life gently but deeply. As you continue this practice, you will notice something beautiful happen. Your heart becomes lighter, your mind clearer, and your habits lose their power over you. You will find freedom not by fighting, but by loving yourself truly. This is the great gift of compassion. It opens the door to lasting change and peace. Remember, you are not alone. Many have walked this path before, and many will walk after you. Trust the process. Be kind to yourself. Let compassion be your guide. The journey to quit bad habits is a journey to know yourself better, to love yourself more deeply, and to live more fully. May your heart be filled with compassion, and may this compassion heal you from within. My dear friends, come closer and listen. Today we walk together into the heart of a very important teaching. This teaching is about cravings, those strong feelings that pull the mind like a wild horse. Everyone has felt this. You walk down the street, and suddenly a thought appears. I must have this. I must eat this. I must drink this. The craving arrives quietly, like a shadow. Sometimes it takes a moment. Sometimes it captures you for hours. But where does it come from? And how can one transform it? Let's talk about this in simple words. The old monks of the forest used to say, "A craving is like a visitor at your door. Will you open the door and invite it in? Will you offer it a seat? Will you make it stay? Or will you simply watch it and let it go?" The craving itself is not your enemy. It is not a demon. It is a visitor. What you do with this visitor decides if it becomes your master or just a passerby. Imagine a person sitting by a quiet river. Suddenly, a dry leaf falls from a tree and lands on the surface of the water. What does the person do? If the person stares at the leaf, holds it, and spins it around with a finger, the leaf may seem like it never leaves. But if the person allows it to float away with the current, the leaf goes, and the water becomes still again. The craving is like that leaf. The mind is like that river. The Buddha said, what you feed will grow. What you feed with attention becomes strong. What you starve with awareness becomes weak. In the world we live in, cravings arise every moment. You open your phone, and it says, buy this, watch this, eat this. The sound of the world is very loud, but the sound of silence within you can be louder still if you give a chance. To transform craving, one must first recognize it. Do not run away. Do not hate it. Do not pretend it is not there. Sit down quietly. Breathe in. Breathe out. Observe the craving. Ask yourself, what is this feeling? What is its taste? What is its color? You will notice something strange. The moment you observe it closely, it becomes shy. It becomes smaller. The craving only grows strong when you forget to watch it. A long ago teacher said, the flame burns when you give it wood. The flame dies when you give it no wood. In the same way, craving burns when you give it thoughts, images, stories. It dies when you give it no fuel. Let the thought arise. Do not judge it. Do not say, I am bad for having this thought, or I am strong for beating this thought. Let the thought come. Let go. See it for what it is, a visitor, a cloud, a wave that rises and falls. It is also helpful to understand why cravings arise. Sometimes it is because the body is tired. Sometimes it is because the heart feels lonely. Sometimes it is because the mind feels bored. The Buddha taught that every craving has a root. When you understand that root, you can pull it out like a small plant. If you drink too much tea because you are tired, perhaps you need rest. If you eat too many sweets because you feel lonely, perhaps you need kindness, a conversation, or a quiet walk. To watch a craving is to ask gently, what do you really want? What are you really trying to tell me? In this way, the craving becomes a teacher. My dear friends, the practice of mindfulness is the key. It is like holding a lamp in a dark room. At first, the room is very dark and you stumble upon many things. But when the lamp shines, you can walk slowly and safely. The lamp of awareness shines upon craving, and in its light, the craving can no longer hide. Have you ever noticed how a wave disappears when it reaches the shore? The wave is strong in the deep ocean, but as it arrives closer to the land, it becomes a line of soft water, and then it is gone. The craving is like that wave. It feels strong when it arrives, but when met with the shore of awareness, it becomes soft. It disappears. You can try this the next time a craving arrives. Do not fight it. Do not feed it. Do not run from it. Sit quietly, watch it like a wave, breathe deeply, and you will notice that it loses its strength. In old monasteries, monks would walk slowly every morning and every evening. They would walk with a heart that watched every step. The sound of their feet upon the earth was a reminder. Be here now. To transform a craving, one must also walk slowly within. One must make space for the heart to breathe. The world rushes, but the heart can walk slowly. The world shouts, but the heart can whisper. The world demands, but the heart can simply witness. A Zen teacher once said, if you can watch a thought for 10 breaths, you have taken 10 steps towards freedom. The thought appears like a bird in the garden of your mind. Will you run after it? Will you try to cage it? Will you kill it? Or will you simply watch it land, and then watch it fly away? This is the practice. Not fighting, not forcing, not holding too tight. Just noticing and allowing. My friends, every person can do this. You don't need to be a monk. You don't need special training. You only need a quiet moment, an open heart, and a strong intention to understand yourself. You can practice this in the morning when you first open your eyes. You can practice this at lunch when a strong craving arrives. You can practice this in the evening when thoughts race like horses in the dark. The path of transformation is built upon countless moments like this. The Buddha called it the middle path, not too tight, not too loose. Not running towards the craving, not running away from it. Just standing still, breathing deeply, looking clearly. With time and practice, the cravings that felt like giants become like whispers. The thoughts that felt like storms become like soft rains. The heart that felt like a troubled lake becomes like a quiet pond. You do not kill the craving. You do not hate it. You do not surrender to it. You simply understand it, accept it, and watch it dissolve. Trust this practice. The great masters of old walked this path. The Buddha himself smiled upon this path. You too can walk it. The seed of awareness is within you. The seed of freedom is within you. The seed of peace is within you. All you must do is water these seeds every day, every moment, every breath. If a craving arrives tonight, smile to it. Welcome it like a guest. Observe it. Breathe with it. Let it teach you its lesson, and watch it leave. In that quiet space after it goes, you will find a piece of yourself that you had forgotten. You will find the silence that you have always been looking for. You will find that this very moment can be a door to a freer, calmer, and brighter life. Walk this path with patience. Sit with it. Let it sink into your heart. Let it live in your every breath. Let it be the gentle voice that guides you from the land of craving to the land of peace. You have this strength within you. You have this wisdom within you. The only thing you must do is remember to use it. May this teaching walk with you every day. May it become a light for every dark moment. May it guide you from restlessness to stillness, from craving to freedom. This is the way. This is the practice. This is the gift the old monks left for the world, and it is yours to carry in every breath you take. Trust in this path. Trust in yourself. The river can be crossed. The wave can be watched. The flame can be tended until it rests. Peace can be found. Peace can be lived. Peace can be your very breath. Let it be so. Let it be now. Let it be always. A long time ago, a Zen Master was sitting under a tall tree. The wind was whispering through its leaves. A young student came to him, looking worried. The student said, "Master, I try so hard to break my bad habits, but when I use too much force, I fail. And when I give up too easily, I fail too. What am I doing wrong?" The Master smiled and said, "You are standing too far to one side. The path you seek is in the middle, not too tight, not too loose. This is called the middle path. In life, especially when dealing with habits, this middle path is the key. Willpower is like a strong rope. If you pull too hard, it snaps. If you let it go, it falls to the ground. You must hold it just right. Bad habits are like strong winds that can make you stumble if you try to stand too stiff. But if you stand too soft, the wind will carry you away. You must stand balanced. Have you noticed how, when you try too hard to stop a habit, it becomes stronger in your mind? You say, "I must not do this," and then you only think more about it. The harder you resist, the harder it pushes back. But when you give up completely and say, "I don't care anymore," you sink deeper into the habit. So what can you do? You walk the middle path. You acknowledge the habit. You don't hate it, and you don't feed it. You watch it. You understand it. You learn from it. The Buddha spoke about this many times. He said that a string can make music only when it is tightened just right. Too tight, it breaks. Too loose, it makes no sound. The same is true with habits. You must find the right balance between trying too hard and doing too little. Imagine a person trying to meditate. The person tries very hard to focus, forcing the mind to stay still. What happens? The mind becomes tense, restless, like a bird beating its wings in a cage. Then the person gives up, saying, "I can never do this," and walks away. What is missing? The middle path. Not too tight, not too loose. Not too forceful, not too careless. Gentle effort, with understanding, is the way. This applies to every bad habit you have. Let us say you have a habit of overeating. You can try to stop suddenly, telling yourself, "I will never eat this food again." But soon, when no one is looking, you will crave it even more. Where you can say, "I don't care anymore," and continue to eat until you are full of guilt. But if you walk the middle path, you watch yourself. You ask, "Why am I eating? What am I feeling?" You don't fight the habit with anger. You don't give in with despair. You walk with awareness. Awareness shines a light in the dark corners of the mind. It is like a lamp that shows you the root of a habit. When you can see it clearly, you can make a better choice. Not by force, but by understanding. This is the middle path. The middle path is about patience. You don't measure yourself by one moment or one day. You walk like a farmer planting a seed. The farmer knows it takes time for the seed to grow. The farmer does not dig it up every morning to see if it has sprouted. The farmer waters it, tends it, and trusts the process. In the same way, when you try to break a habit, you must give yourself time. You must walk with kindness, not judgment. The middle path is about being honest. Sometimes we try too hard because we are afraid. Sometimes we give up too easily because we doubt ourselves. The middle path asks, "What is happening right now?" It does not ask for perfection. It asks for understanding. It allows mistakes, and it learns from them. Have you ever noticed how a strong wave can pull down a swimmer who fights too hard? The swimmer struggles until exhausted, and then the wave takes him down. But a wise swimmer knows when to relax, when to move with the wave, when to use its force to rise again. This is how you can understand the middle path with habits. It is knowing when to apply effort and when to rest. Not too tight, not too loose. The middle path is about knowing that habits don't define you. A habit is like a visitor. It arrives, it stays for some time, and it goes away. You don't have to hate the visitor. You also don't have to invite it to stay forever. You can acknowledge it, understand it, and then open the door for it to leave. The middle path is about making friends with yourself. Not the you that must be punished for making mistakes. Not the you that gives up in despair. But the you that knows how to rise every morning and try again with a smile and an open heart. In the Buddhist way, every thought can be a teacher. Every craving can be a lesson. Every moment can be a chance to walk the middle path. You don't have to win every battle. You just have to walk with awareness, one step at a time. Trust that you have the strength to walk between extremes, the strength to accept and to let go, the strength to smile when you stumble, knowing it is part of the path. This is how habits dissolve, not by fighting them like enemies, not by ignoring them like strangers, but by seeing them clearly and allowing the wisdom of balance to guide you. The middle path is a way of being. It is a gentle, strong, quiet way. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand. It doesn't reject or cling. It simply is. When you live this way, habits no longer control you. You no longer serve them, and they no longer haunt you. Each breath can be a reminder. Each moment can be a chance to return to the middle path. You can walk this path every day. You can walk it every night. You can walk it when you're strong, and you can walk it when you're tired. The path is always there, waiting for you. Trust that no matter how long you have been a slave to a habit, you can find this path. Trust that every step you take toward balance is a step toward freedom. This is the teaching of the middle path. This is how the heart finds its peace. Remember, the rope of willpower doesn't have to be pulled too tight. The hand of surrender doesn't have to be too loose. There's a space in between, a space where breath and patience meet, a space where you can walk with dignity, knowing that every step you take is a step closer to understanding. This is the middle path. This is the way of the heart. This is the way to be free. Have you ever stood by a quiet river and watched how it moves? The water doesn't fight with the stones. It doesn't try to force its way. It just flows. It finds a path. It doesn't cling to the places it has passed, and it doesn't worry about the places it has yet to reach. In the same way, a person can live a life free from old habits. A person can learn to walk in this world like the water of the river, soft, strong, and free. The journey of leaving bad habits is very much like this. You started this path many days ago. You came here with a question in your heart. How can I be free? You learned that habits arise when we walk the same path too many times. You learn that habits can dissolve when we stop feeding them, when we open the door of awareness and let the light of understanding fall upon them. You learn about triggers, about cravings, about how to breathe when the storm of desire arrives. Today, we stand at the end of this path. But this end is not an end at all. It is a beginning. The teaching of the Buddha is like this. An end of one chapter is the opening of another. The end of a habit can be the beginning of a new way of living. And this is why the Zen Master reminds you now, do not walk with old burdens when a new path is open before you. Look at the habits you have tried to leave. See how many times you try to force yourself to be different. See how many times you felt ashamed or afraid because you fell down. This is where kindness must arise. The Buddha spoke of this. He said that harshness towards oneself is another form of ego. True strength is soft. True strength is patient. True strength knows how to wait and how to walk one step at a time. Imagine a seed buried deep in the earth. The seed doesn't struggle every moment. The seed rests. It knows that when the rains come and when the sun shines, it will rise. In this same way, when you water your heart with understanding, when you open yourself to kindness, the seed of change will rise within you. This is how habits lose their grip, Not with anger, not with force, but with a deep, quiet knowing that you can be different. Each morning, as you rise from your bed, ask yourself, what path will I walk today? Will you walk the old path of craving, anger, or forgetfulness? Or will you walk the new path, one of clarity, compassion, and strength? The choice is yours. The power is within you. Each night before you rest, ask yourself, what seed have I watered today? Was it the seed of greed, the seed of anger, or was it the seed of peace, the seed of love, the seed of patience? This simple practice can transform a life. This is how a Zen master lives, moment by moment, choice by choice, planting the seeds of light. Remember, habits are like threads in a rope. One thread by itself is very weak, but when threads are woven together, they become strong. Your habits have been like threads, but you can now weave new threads, threads of awareness, threads of strength, threads of loving kindness. And when you do this every day, you will create a new rope. This rope can carry you across the river of life. The world may try to pull you back. The old habits may whisper to you. But when you remember these teachings, when you sit quietly and watch your breath, when you open your heart to the present moment, the whispers will lose their voice. The old threads will break. The new threads will hold strong. You will be free. The Buddha once said, better to conquer yourself than to win 1,000 battles. What does this mean? It means that victory is not about defeating others. It is about knowing your own heart, understanding your own mind, and living with kindness and wisdom. This is the highest victory. Each person has the seed of the Buddha within. Each person can awaken to a life beyond habits. The journey is not about becoming someone new. It is about returning to who you already are, a being of light, a being of peace. Habits may cover this light, but they can never destroy it. Trust this path. Trust that every step you have taken is a step closer to your true nature. The pain of habits, the struggle of trying and failing, these are not wasted moments. They are moments that have taught you strength, moments that have molded you into the person you are now. Bow to those moments. Thank them. Let them go. As you walk into tomorrow, walk with soft strength. Do not walk with a clenched fist. Do not walk with a heart that fears falling. Walk with a heart that knows how to rise. Walk with a breath that knows how to rest. Let the path reveal itself with every step. Let life whisper its wisdom to you. You came to this teaching because something within you is seeking freedom. Never forget this. Never forget the voice within you that longed for a better way. Never forget that this voice is your true teacher. The words you have heard in these moments are only a guide. The real teaching lives within your own heart. Trust that heart. Trust its knowing. Trust its strength. It has led you this far. It will lead you further still. May you walk this path with clarity. May you walk this path with kindness. May you walk this path knowing that every breath is a chance for renewal. May you walk this path knowing that habits can be broken, wounds can be healed, and a new life can be born from understanding. As the Zen Master bows to you now, he reminds you, you are the river, you are the path.